Alright, Russ, you gotta put this up, man. Gotta go educate the fucking sheep. Garbage Pail Kids sheep. To kill Palpatine later. Oh. Alright. Turn this shit off. Holy fuck. Hey guys, today I have an actual concise discussion / rant. It could get ugly. Just warning you. Let me pull these little guys out. Set up here. Yesterday, I started listing some of my collection on Don. I will be selling a lot of it off. Might be donating things to charity and whatnot as well. I'm just going to see how it goes. The sales actually went very well, so that's positive. That's cool. These are like my children. Push this shit back here. Yeah, so today, well, something came up yesterday or last night or this morning sometime. Someone asked me if they could buy one of these Galoob prototypes. If you don't know what these are, and you probably don't because these are one of one, these were made in 1989 by Galoob, which is a toy company, for the Garbage Pail Kids cartoon. Because you know CBS was going to make a Garbage Pail Kids cartoon back in the late 80s. And they did make one series or part of a series, and these were two of the characters from the show. Galoob ended up making 11 different characters, but it never went into production. So you're looking at what we call the prototypes, meaning this is what they were going to make. Now these are made with resin. This is something that companies use to make the first figures with. But these would be, had they made them, they would have been made out of, plastic or rubber or something like that. Also today, we're going to be talking a little bit about Sapphire. So if you like Sapphire, and just some trading cards in general, okay? Put these over here. Actually, I don't need those yet. Okay. Yeah, I was waiting to see if a few people would join. If not, I noticed that most people are watching this after they get off work, which I get it. It's lunchtime. It's actually a little bit past lunchtime, depending on where you live. So I get it's a little weird. That's one of the benefits of being retired. I can just do shit when I want, All right, I'm just going to go ahead and start. So what gave me this idea, I was going to talk about it anyway. What gave me the reason to do it today is a guy asked me last night if I would sell one of these. So I asked him, I'm just curious what you would offer for Alien Ian, for example. And he said $600. So obviously I'm not taking $600 for a one-of-one Galoob prototype of the CBS Garbage Pail Kids cartoon that is this legendary animated series that we never got. So, and I was thinking about, what if I did take $600 for this? And what could I buy with that? So I was thinking, what's on a lot of people's mind is Sapphire. So I know they have a lot of color parallels. Like, I guess I could sell my legacy item, Ian, and buy maybe is there like a Potty Scotty orange or purple or something? So maybe I could take that money and invest it in a Potty Scotty, right? So would that be a smart move? What do you guys think? Should I sell Alien Ian? A guy has the money right on hand, $600, then reinvest the $600 in maybe, let's just say, Potty Scotty Gold, or maybe I'll get Base and Jason. Maybe I'll get a combo deal. I'll get Potty Scotty, Base and Jason, because that's my favorite character of all time, by the way, in gold. Would that be fair? What would you do? All right, so my point is that's never going to happen, obviously. Why? No one would ever do that deal. So let's talk about that. So if you think about trading cards, here's the original Potty Scotty. I pulled this from a pack about a month ago or 3 weeks ago, and he is pack fresh, gradable mint. He is off center. This is something I would never have thought of as a kid. I wouldn't have cared about the border. The reason it matters as an adult is because it randomly matters in our era now as trading cards. So my point is, this card is almost like a piece of money. It's like currency. Another thing that's happened since we were kids is grading cards. So if you look at this is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He's The Rock, the movie actor. Some of you don't know, he used to play football and he was a wrestler, of course. So this is a graded, right? By grading this, you're putting a number on it. Okay? Anytime you put a number on something, you're further putting it into a currency category, right? This is no longer something I would hold in my hands. It's more of an investment. I bought this because I think The Rock is one day going to be president. I don't want that, but I think he could easily win the presidency. And they're talking about him actually running very soon. So if he becomes the president of the free world, I have his rookie card, yeah? Anytime you put a number on a card, especially a graded card, you're talking about, it's just money. This is a piece of money. I can take this to a card store. They can look up, what do they call it? The comps, right? It's all just a calculator. They can look up the comps for the Mayweather rookie. They can look up what PSA 9s go for, and they can open up their cash register and give me money for this. This is just another $100 bill, except this one's worth like $15,000. So what we're seeing in Garbage Pail Kids in our era, we're taking these cards and we're turning them into currency. Here we have a Sapphire from last year, or was the year before? 2020, year before last. So it's been 2 years of hell. Okay, so if you look at it, and you see the one from 1985, this is an original, except when you remember, this was mass produced. The old one was mass produced. Anybody could buy it in stores. The only reason this is somewhat rare is because kids would, open packs, rip them open, they would handle them, the sides would get dirty, some kids would peel off the edges, some of them would write their name on the back, their teacher's name on the back, so So it is fairly rare to have a nice potty Scott. It's not the greatest thing in the world, let's be honest. But if you skip ahead 35 years, this is 1985, this is 2020, skip ahead 35 years, we're on this potty Scotty. Now he's a copy of a copy. This is what I'm saying is this is actually more of a piece of currency than this is. So where does all this end? It ends, if you can imagine, what if on this blank sheet of paper I had the original John Pound final art. Imagine that, by the way. God damn. The final art of Potty Scotty right here. The original. The one where John Pound's hand had painted it. It's all fresh paint. Now that would be a different story. That's not money. And I'm going to classify these guys in the place of that Potty Scotty final that I don't own. What I'm saying is Alien Ian Galoob prototype from the cartoon is not currency. You listening? There's no number on him. He hasn't been graded. He hasn't been looked upon in a currency mindset. He doesn't exist in a market. These exist in a market. I can look up the comps and trade it in for cash. Especially if I get the shit graded, right? Again, I could take this to a card shop. The fucking loser behind the counter would open some yellow book that he's thumbed through late at night for fucking hours. He'd look up a PSA 9 Floyd Mayweather rookie, and he would give me the mid-market or the low-market price because it's a number everyone knows. But these, there's no fucking book to look them up in. They're one of one. This is the source material. This isn't the toy that Galoob made. They never made it. This is the source. Like with Potty Scotty, the source would be the final art. Or you could say maybe the color rough or the pencil art, but even those are copies of a copy. We consider the final art to be the source. These are sources. So on this side, you have currency, which are all based on numbers, right? There's a number I could put on this. And if my number is too high, it's unreasonable. And people call you out on it, right? Like if I try to get a 6.5 rock rookie it's like $2,000 right now. It kind of dropped a little bit. But if I try to get 3,000, it's going to sit on eBay, right? Because no one's going to pay that. Because looking at this number, looking at this card, looking at the comps of this number of the card, looking at the condition, I can put a dollar bill on it. What about these? What number do you put on this? What price guide, what comps are there on these? Okay, so say we start at 65 bucks. I'm sorry, 600 bucks. I got offered 600 bucks, right? Let me move her. Let me move my $10,000 spacey figure. All right, at least. Okay, say I took the $600. What in the hobby can I buy today? Right now, today. On, what is this, Friday? I don't even know what day it is. Friday, I think. Friday at lunch. What can I put that $600 towards in our hobby? Tell me. Let me tell you what I wouldn't do. I wouldn't trade a legacy piece of art that's in the aesthetics category, a one-of-one original, and use that money to buy currency, which would be, like I said earlier, maybe a purple Potty Scotty Sapphire. It doesn't work like that. So when you're approaching people that have legacy items, I'm calling these legacy items, I'm talking about items that don't have numbers attached to them. They're going to want another legacy item for it. Or they're going to want so much money that it sounds ridiculous. It's not ridiculous. It's ridiculous to you because you don't have legacy items. I'm not trying to sound mean. This is actually something I remember when I was a newbie. I would ask people dumb questions too. Would you sell me that artwork? No. No, they're not. Because at the time, I asked them, had I give them the $2,000 and took their legacy artwork, there was nothing they could put that $2,000 towards that could replace that legacy item in the art category. Now, I could go on one of these sites. Some of the artists are selling color roughs. Color roughs are not the source. Pencils are sure fuck not the source. So you don't trade down like that. Only an idiot would do that, or someone who's probably extremely broke or I don't know. I don't know what y'all people do. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what you're thinking. I'm looking at a hobby that has turned into an investment for a lot of people. I am investing in sports cards. I don't see Garbage Pail Kids as an investment, not in the way this other stuff is. There's way more returns on the other stuff than these. And we're also on the downcline with Garbage Pail Kids. We're kind of over that hump that we had kind of like a couple years ago. I noticed it was a hump. There was a hump around Chrome 1. I remember that was actually pretty exciting to sell with them. So moving forward, definitely not going to be selling any of my, I'm not going to sell anything good, which means I'm not selling anything from my art aesthetics category. First of all, you don't have enough money to buy it. You're probably going to find my appraisals ridiculous because you don't understand it. It's nothing against you or me. It's just... Okay, here's the thing. So, here's one more point, and I'll probably end it here. I do have something I can open. We could go back in that box. I don't have to run or anything, but I was just going to make this point real quick. So you remember the Mayweather rookie high market's around 15 right now. Now this is a 9. If it was a 10, it'd be like 15,000. I have seen this go as low as 3,500. So, how do you put a price? Let's talk about this real quick. How do you put a price? Like if I really wanted to sell one of these for some random reason, maybe I think it's cursed. Maybe I think that when I got these, my life took a turn. I actually kind of think it did. And I wanted to get rid of these cursed items. How would I put a number on it? Well, since no one else owns it, and there's no comps, and there's no experts, unless you count the other people that own the other ones. There was 11 of these made. I have 2 of 11. There's actually a pretty famous collector who owns 2 like I do. I'm not going to say his name because he doesn't like people bugging him either. Except I bug him, but, you know, because I have something to work with, right? I can bug him, and he can bug me because we both have items that are transferable. Does that make sense? So, how do you put a number on it? Well, I don't know, but I can tell you one thing. I put the number on it. That's the difference. people that own the final art puts the number on the final art, because there's nothing to compare it to, unless you count other finals. But if they're truly original characters that have distinct qualities like these do, I put the number on it, not the buyer. I put the number on it, and you're never going to understand that until you yourself actually owns an item like that that's in the aesthetic art category. Okay, I hope that cleared some things up. Not saying this is bad, even though it is, how we're glorifying copies of a copy. But just understand, Sapphire is money, it's currency. There's a number you place on it. These are not rare. You can open these from packs today if you'd like. You can't open this from a pack. It was never in a pack. It was in an art studio, I believe in Germany. I better stop before I get heated. Yeah, I was actually planning on getting heated, but there wasn't enough people in here. All right, let's see. So I don't think that took very long. So I'll go through. Let's go through this. Let's see if there's some legacy items in this fucking random bag that was in my closet. Let's see. Now we'll say we're getting into toys now. I'm the GPK toy guy. Not because, you know, like, I've been appointed that or anything like that. It's through nature, because I am a toy collector. I started as a toy collector before I got into Garbage Pail Kids. I was collecting Star Wars Lego. I have a ton of Star Wars, Hasbro, and Kenner. My whole life has been surrounded by toys. I'm basically a toy collector who likes Garbage Pail Kids and candy. So naturally, since all I do is like toy stuff, and most people think of Garbage Pail Kids as just a card line, it was pretty easy, and quickly I became the main person in Garbage Pail Kids toys. It took about 3 years. All right, let's take a look in here. This will be the only thing else that we look at and discuss today. These were just randomly thrown in here. This is a black market trading cards. This was from the Fanset 2, Redux. You put beer in there. This is my favorite of those two they made because it has the camo. It's pretty cool. Obviously, black makes more sense with the character, but to me, this just looks better. I am from Georgia, so definitely a little redneck, not by choice. It's just... Okay, these are Garbage Gang. Just notice that's discolored, by the way. These are Garbage Gang slime cans. These came out, when was it, guys? 5 years ago or so. Very exciting when this happened because we got to see mannequins again, used and appropriated in a different form. Now mannequins are associated with slime. You guys do know that there's whole slime communities. There's communities of collectors that collect slime, because slime got very popular when we were kids, if you remember. Ectoplasm, GAC, that fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shit. So what's cool about this, we call these crossover collectibles. This is not only a Garbage Pail Kids, it's a Garbage Pail Kid toy. Not only that, it's now in the slime category. There's people that don't collect Garbage Pail Kids who have these in their house. There's slime collectors that has this randomly in their collection. That means that this has the potential, even though these were also mass-produced in Italy and UK, I believe. These have the potential of having some value, especially long term. Not now, because we're in a kind of a hater category where people glorify copies of a copy. Classes in session. I hope your guys are taking notes, man. Alright, these were made by a couple of fucking losers. Hold on. Actually, some of these are not losers. Let me pull out the good ones. Here's another. These guys aren't losers. Ooh, that's cool. This is, what do I call these? Koozies? Okay. Let me pull out the good ones, and then we'll talk about the dumb ones. Okay. This is something I bought, I think it's been a couple of years ago. It was so random. It came out of fucking nowhere on eBay. This is something you would expect to see in my collection. Right? If I didn't own this, wouldn't it feel weird if you knew this existed? And there's a lot of collectors like that. Like, you'll see people tag other people, you know. Like, Mindy, there's a fucking atom bomb that you need to buy. I'm always people tagging me on these random little cheap toy things. The best part of this is not the toy, it's this header card that's in this Misfits font, and it's in the green cheap toy color. Thanks to this random fucking person, Doom. We'll never know who that is. This is Jason Clawhees. This was made by two friends of mine. Nolan, he's a legendary now just custom toy maker. He doesn't just make Garbage Pail Kids. He started here. Now he makes a bunch of them. And also the other legend, Eric Nia, who he does all kinds of Japanese and anime characters along with thankfully Garbage Pail Kid themes. But this is two Garbage Pail Kids combined into one. I'm not a big horror fan. In fact, especially like mainstream horror. I hate that shit. Alright, let's see. Hold on, I'm making sure there's nothing, because I know who made all this shit. We'll talk about this too, but let me make sure. Let me get the miscellaneous out of the way. Alright, this is a Super 7 pen. They threw these with the, you know, the Jimmy Neutron Atom Bomb Super 7 they made like 3 too many times. This came in there. This is actually better than the figure, even though I don't collect pens. This was thrown in a package from a collector. I actually like it. It's cool because it has that shiny quality. This is something you could throw in a display and it would have a nice contrast to the rest of your shiny objects, and you know, it has a different texture quality, which I think would pop. All right, let's get to this crazy freaks shit. Yeah, this guy, he's a total fucking douchebag. His name is Michael Marquez. I helped him. I basically gave Michael, here's the story on this. But he's the guy who made Bud Atom on eBay. You guys seen the, I don't even have it. I don't even think I have it. You know, the little atom bomb mannequin, but it has the marijuana coming out of the top. It is actually a pretty cool character, but he's making it out of like this crappy material. Anyway, that's the guy. And he's only on eBay. He only sells it. He's not on Facebook. He's paranoid. Anyway, I gave him Muscle Things formula after Muscle Things died. I mean, I think Alec wouldn't care, so I gave it to him. But I charged him $300, and it took him a whole year to give me my payment for the formula. But I finally did get my $300. All this was free. I've never bought anything from this freak. This is a Montezuma. We're still waiting on this figure to be made. I don't know why someone will not make Montezuma who knows how to sculpt. Now, we call this kit bashing. Michael Marquez is not an artist, okay, not in the sense of a sculptor. This is called kit bashing. Basically, he took the body of Cyclops and then he cut the head off of another toy, which is not GPK, glued it on. He got the base from a muscle figure, you know, the triangle pyramid muscle figure. He cut that shit in half. He glued it all together. He made a mold and he poured pink resin in it. And here you have this random thing here. Now, the best thing about Michael Marquez's work, if you call it that, is he is making these blisters on Photoshop, and he is producing them. So he handmade, you know what I mean? Like he custom made the backer, and he went through the trouble of gluing the blister. I don't agree where he put the toy. It should have been in the corner. And even on the backs of his shed, he has things that he made. He wrote all this. This is different than what you would see in a Garbage Pail Kids card. He also stamped it. He's made his own rubber stamps, a bunch of them. There's a lot of customizing that went into just this one piece. So I will give him props on that. All the rest that we look at today are Michael Marquez customs. So if you need to bail, I completely fucking understand. All right, this is a Zach Plaque cheap toy kit bash. All these are kit bash. He's not making these by hand. In fact, this was made on a 3D printer. Have you seen a 3D printer? 3D printer, you go into a special program, you design the form of a figure, and there are some Garbage Pail Kid forms already pre-made in the program, and you basically hit print, and this big fucking machine goes around. It has all this liquid plastic, and a machine made this. Michael didn't touch this. He touched the keyboard. Not saying that's bad. Actually, I've seen a lot of 3D printed things that are really cool. This is okay. Michael also went through the trouble of making a magenta checklist like the old ones. It shows you the characters he had at the time. These would be around 7 years old. Honestly, I've never looked at the backs of all these in one sitting, so I don't know if they're different. We can find that out now. Notice he's also adding custom stickers randomly and stuff as well. I'll give him props for that as well. Some of you own his stamps. So I'm talking about that same guy. Did you buy his stamp sheet that was on eBay about, I don't know, 4 years? I don't know. I'm talking about him. Inside, I've never actually opened this, but there's a big stack of stickers, not just one. There's like 5 in there. I can fill them. It's probably more of the same. Oh, here's the Zach Plaque. Notice he's not trying to make the pure character here. He's not trying to make John Pound's Zach Plaque. He's making Michael Marquez on meth, literally on meth, and weed. His kit bash tweaked out version. Yes, stay away from people who do methamphetamine. Also, I wouldn't support them. Like I didn't pay. Actually, correction. I did buy the very first one because I didn't know him yet. After I knew him, I would never support him. Except he did buy the formula from me for $300. I did buy this, or maybe it was that. This is his first one. He made Flesh, Baron Aaron's. Now, in the beginning, he did try to make a pure Garbage Pail Kids character, meaning he tried to make Silent Sandy. That's why I was supporting him. Plus, I didn't know he had such a drug problem and was a weirdo. Anyway, let's take a look. We're halfway through. Here's Michael's Blojo. Thankfully, we have a good Blojo. Well, that Al Lambright made. Hold on, make sure. I was trying to make sure I could say that. Yeah, he's already. Yeah, he's sold some of those. Okay, where are we? Okay, this is Stuck Chuck? Penlin? Don't know about the Stuck Chuck. I know it's Penlin. This is a 3D printing. Can you see the lines in it? See all the, that's called flash. That's the extra stuff that should be shaved off with a razor. Yeah, we also call this unclean. It hasn't been cleaned. I guess I'm supposed to do it. No. This is not Garbage Pail Kids, obviously. He took a toy piece of cheese, probably from a girl's kitchen playset, cut the head off of some random toy, glued it on, made a mold, and cast that. When he was owing me that money for over a year, he was sending me packages. I think he was trying to get out of paying me. So that did work out where I got a bunch of free shit. This is, I guess, Django Fett. Oh, here's another Joe Blow. Identical to my other one. This was something I was excited about at first until I saw how it turned out. He told me he was making Totem Paula. Is that her? Yeah. Which I think would make a great cheap toy. Or maybe you could make each character, or maybe the bottom two and the top two, and you could combine two cheap toys. But that's not what he did. That would take too much thought and effort. He put this shit on the program, hit a button, and printed this monstrosity. The only redeeming quality, besides the multiple faces that's somewhat entertaining as you go up, is this pretty nice sunshine color that's remnants of Novo Bon cheap toys. Actually, let me grab one over here. Let's see how close he got. In the hobby, we call this egg yolk because it easily describes a color better than sunshine. It's more of an egg yolk. So Michael's is a little bright, but good try there, bud. Terrible quality. The wings, can you see that? Are a disaster. He tried it again. Here, and he shrunk it because I asked him if he could make it smaller, you know, like a cheap toy or something. Better size, very beautiful color actually, but this doesn't work on a 3D printer. It doesn't print the wings right, or maybe his didn't. There's no way in hell that guy owned a 3D printer. I don't think he even had a car. Okay, let's move this. Oh, here's another Stuck Chuck Penlin in blue. Oh, these are, he thought it would be fun to have extra pins that you could stick in like a voodoo doll. Like, fuck you, you want to hurt elbow. So anyway, I thought I had one that didn't have the pins in it. He did try one that just had holes. Is this it? Oh, this is it. Okay, sorry. So see how this guy has some nails out? And so he gave me these so I could stick those in the little holes. They don't really work. Okay. Anyway, you get the point. So we're just going through, because I had extra time, going through one of the bags from my miscellaneous, which happens to be a toy bag. And this is the first time I've talked about toys on this series. Get ready. This is only, I was going to say the tip of the iceberg. No, it's more like the very fucking bottom of the iceberg. This doesn't belong in this bag. This is a pen. Looks vintage, by the way. Perhaps from some Latin country, or let's see what this is. Okay, this shouldn't be in there as well. This is Illuminati Toys. Illuminati Toys. A friend of mine owns that company, and they make cheap toys. This is a glow-in-the-dark Silent Sandy. Now these came with little pyramids, and I probably said some mean things so far about this guy, but what you don't know is my correspondence with him. You don't know how it ended or how it began and what I had to go through to get my money that I was promised. So, and the good news, in the end, I did get it. But see how it started here? It started actually very positive. If you were around, you probably remember seeing these. They were cool. It was like, okay, here's a new collector. He's going to try to do something in the Garbage Pail Kids space, in the toy space. Okay, cool. And it was during what we call the customized era. This would be when Alec was still alive. Al was working full-time on this shit. We had Eric Nia working on Grim Gem cheap toys. It was during, again, what we call the customized era. This would be around 2010 to 2013. And so Michael was a part of that. He did get in there, and I told him that he was a part of it and that I included his Silent Sandy as one of the better ones from the era. Even though on close inspection, and now this one is in the rubber, the Alec rubber. This one came later. And see how it's softer? Like this, not that one. Yeah, this one's printed, and it looks like this has a softer look. Yeah. So yeah, this is a little more of my life. You know, you're probably not really interested in this stuff. But it is loosely connected to Garbage Pail Kids. Yeah. So that's all I got today. Hope you caught the first bit. If not, you can watch it later. I was talking about just like original toys and how some of those can be art and compared to cards and that dynamic in relation to investing and money and stuff like that. Yeah, good deal. Guys, before I go, what the hell am I going to do with this? You guys ever think about that? Like, I know what I'm doing with her. That's a $700 figure. She's very desirable. Even people that don't collect toys know that a Novo has value. They probably at least think it's worth $300 because they don't know that it's worth $700. Whatever, it still has value is my point. But what about this? What about this pile? They don't look good enough to have assumed value. This has assumed value. These don't have much assumed value. It doesn't look GPK enough in the face, and the figure is so rough and off-putting unless it comes with one of these checklists or something. Yeah, this one. Okay, let's see how this looks as a unit. Okay. It is gray like Lynn is. Okay. But I think the assumed value on something like this is maybe $15, if that. So I don't know the reason why I need to keep this until I'm 60 years old. Besides, there hasn't been another Penland character, like, but what about for another collector? We all know why I have this, but that's my point. Like, I don't know what to do with all this. I only like somewhat like it. It's mainly just a bad memory. But yet I don't want to give it. I mean, I guess I could give it away, but I'm not going to get anything for it. So that's kind of a thing I'm running into with some of this crap. Is I'm trying to think down the road. I just know when I'm 60, if I open this same fucking bag and pull this shit out, it's going to have even less meaning. So, yeah. I don't know if some of you guys think about that stuff. All right. You'll have a good rest of your day. Don't forget to vote for The Rock for president, because I want this card, this rookie, to go up in value. That's all I got. Hold on, I have a comment. I can see them too. Give them away at Halloween with some extra cards. Yeah, kids, you want to see something that's fucking scary as hell? Yeah, go take this home, show it to your mom. Look what this strange fucking middle-aged creep gave me. Man, mom would freak the hell out. That's actually a good idea, though. See, like, something like this I don't need. Like, this has nothing to do with Garbage Pail Kids. I don't know why this douche put it in my bag. Yeah, I'll definitely either toss this in the garbage or give it to some kid. Donned it. Dude, okay, so I'm starting to sell, right? So last night I made over $500 on Don in an hour. Don's incredible. I mean, that's why I've sponsored Don. I told you guys, Don, number one. It's the market. Outside of eBay, Don's the market. eBay is still the market, though, okay? Now, you can get those legacy items like I talked about occasionally on Don, but for the most part, eBay is still the king. I don't think anyone thinks they're going to take out eBay for a while. Then I like Misfits a lot. Misfits is very organic. It has kind of a nice attitude about it, which I try to add to. I try not to troll on Misfits at all. I don't like the shit where I eat, much as possible. So, yeah, Don is going to be very hard to unjoin Don. I don't think I can. Misfits, I could unjoin that, but I don't want to. And what else? Oh, the original art group. I do like the original art group because it's chill. People don't post like crazy amounts on there. Those are the 3 sites that Russ Van endorses. Even as I'm quitting, I'm still endorsing those sites. The rest of them can go. Even Block Stars, I'm not going to need this site. No offense. It's seriously no offense. I'm retiring. Please understand that. So, but even Block Stars, I wanted to think that Block Stars was a post GPK site but there's no way around it. Everyone wants to hang on to Garbage Pail Kids. I'm doing it myself, right? I wish there was a place where my friend group, okay, these people on here, by the way, I wish there was a place that I could keep my friend group in a non-GPK, what's the word? Just another place that has that same energy and that same interest. I think deep down that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to like, because I've kind of run my course with Garbage Pail Kids. I still want art. I still want legacy items, but there's none to buy. So I'm just trading fucking money. It's like I'm taking money out of my wallet and trading it for other money. It's like, collecting this shit is just collecting money. It's like, oh, here, I'll give you some money for your money. It's just, it's going in circles. Now, if I could get Galoob prototypes, if I could get, this is a 1 of 5, by the way. 1 of 5 vintage. It's vintage too, right? It wasn't made in 2015. It's made in 1989. So lingering in this hobby day after day, which I like hanging out with my friends and joking. That's what I'm doing. I don't want to like make enemies. I'm not here to disrespect people or be disrespected. But sometimes that's what you got to do to get attention, right? And cause some controversy and clout. But like even now, I'm sitting here. I've got art I'm working on. I'm writing a fucking book. I've got this strategy game I'm doing. I'm building, trying to build another community. I've got other projects, but yet I'm still fumbling around with this stuff. It's like I'm just waiting for something good to come up on the market, but it's not. It's like it's the wrong time to collect what I collect. And I'm wondering if it's even dead. I don't know if it's ever going to come back. Unless there's some collector that I necromance from the past. I can name 2 that I would really love. Baked Jake, for example. I wish he'd come back so I could cherry pick his collection, right? But until then, what the fuck am I doing? I'm having to look at the most lame shit online in my own collection. I know what I want, but it's not out there to chase. I don't even have anything to chase, really. That's reasonably worth my efforts because I could probably get turned down, is my point. But yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely getting out of the day-to-day because I'm just wasting time. I've got this other stuff I want to do. It's like I got to force this noise out because it's not going anywhere anyway. I'm not forcing any of you out of my life. In fact, I want it to be the opposite. But I'm trying to find that sweet spot in this. Black Stars is not the sweet spot. It's 2 Garbage Pail Kids, and that's sad. And it's sad because Garbage Pail Kids is sad. It's sad because Garbage Pail Kids is sad. Garbage Pail Kids is money. You might as well put $4. You might as well take this fucking card. I'm talking about the actual card with the Sharpie and put $4 right there. That's what this is. It's not potty. This is not Potty Scotty. This isn't even Potty Scotty, but it's way fucking closer. Pound did the Potty Scotty. Okay, but anyway. All right, anyway. I'm about to rant is what's going to happen. All right, guys. I'm getting out of here. I got shit to do. Oh, I got some questions, though. Thanks, guys. Spartacus. You're so funny, man. Spartacus, man, you got such really good commentary, by the way. Yeah, Don. Yeah, get on Don. Dude, Don is... It's crazy, man. It moves so quick. Those guys, made me a moderator, which is cool. I'm just a token moderator, but I get to sort of see what behind the lines, all the movement, all the traffic that goes through there. It's beautiful to get to see that. eBay gets more traffic than Don, right? And there's some things we can't sell on Facebook that you can sell on eBay. Not because it's explicit, but because you can get more money on eBay. For example, cheap toys. This would sell for $350 on Don, or maybe $400. But on eBay, I could get the $650, $700 I would want for it. Maybe $800. The sky's the limit. One reason is because on eBay you can't make comments. You can't have the trolls getting in there on your listing, knocking it down, saying things like, "Ain't it funny how cheap toys are so valuable? Ain't it funny how they're called cheap toys and not expensive toys?" The same old fucking weak ass jokes, fucking newbie ass, goddamn ill-informed jokes we have to fucking endure our whole fucking hobby career. This shit's the joke. Yeah, people need to learn about the history. They need to learn about the people, because from that springs the meaning behind it all. Plus, you're in there, right? We collected this shit when we were kids. This meant something to us back then. Do you remember? This meant to us something maybe even different than it does now. But we changed. And, it is what it is. You can't do nothing about it. We changed. Well, I'm changing again. And there's nothing I can do about it. And I don't know what to do with some of this stuff. I just don't know. I don't even know what I did with some of this stuff. I can tell you kind of how I got a lot of this. I'll be honest. It was me at work during lunch. I had a stressful fucking morning. It's me sitting on UG, and I start buying stuff because it made me feel good. Plus you just want stuff, right? You see stuff. Damn, that shit's cool, man. Yeah, we'll get into this box another day. There's art down here, though. I can't even get to it because I love these things. This is actually one of my favorite things from the past, trash box. Just seeing this in Target, something called trash box. God, it just seeing it brought me so much joy. And it was so cheap, and I bought so many of these. I traveled to Savannah, which is like 3 hours from my house. I went up into North Carolina to Charlotte, which is another 3 hours a different direction. I traveled fucking all through Atlanta looking for trash box. I bought 100. I bought every one I found. All right, guys. I'm getting out of here. Hold on, I'm reading some comments. God, I fucking love you people. See, you guys don't even realize I'm a fan of you. I'm a fan. I actually follow. I read like just random shit you talk about, just random comment. I'm a fan of you. I think that's kind of where it's always been. What's kind of kept me in the hobby is I became, while I'm waiting on fucking cool shit, and I'm not that. While I'm waiting on cool shit to pop up, what am I doing? I'm just scrolling like you, right? You found this video. Why are you on here? Because there's nothing available to fucking buy. If there was something on Don that everyone's bidding on, you wouldn't be in this video, would you? I wouldn't either. But sometimes there is. But to me, I like the people probably more than most all this. So I'm a fan of you people. Yeah, Tom Bunk is awesome. I was reading Spartacus. Yeah, Trash Can Trolls is cool. I don't think I would buy one. I don't think I would tie my money into that, honestly. No, I'm talking personally. No, I get why other people do. Thank you. Yeah, merchant of the GPK info. Yeah, because I'm into the history, like you are. So when I'm looking at a toy, it's not just the plastic image of Fishy Phyllis. It's not just a memory of what I had as a kid. It's not the turn on I get when I see this mermaid, which I do a little bit. It's about, oh, do you know I went on Google Earth and I looked up the Novo Bonbon Company? It shows you a picture of the building. The feelings I get from looking at the old Novo Bonbon building is pretty undescribable. I can imagine myself actually breaking into it at night. I imagine the year was 1990, which put me in ninth grade. I can fantasize about actually finding those molds that I want so bad. Probably the most thing I want in my whole life is I want the cheap toy molds because I want to recreate cheap toys. But I can't do it with copy molds. I want the originals. So it's a lot of things. Which, correction, these weren't actually cast in Canada, Nova Scotia. They were actually cast in Hong Kong. But you get the idea. Like they probably had prototypes and all kinds of cool shit in there. So to me, this isn't just Fishy Phyllis in a yellow plastic. She's a multiplicity of thoughts, feelings, and emotions tied to people that I love, respect, and that I actually have in my own life as friends. And some that are complete fantasies. So that's probably why I still linger, because I don't know what to do with these problems. I gotta get out of here. GPK is a problem. Let's end it here. Y'all have a good weekend. Think on that. How do we solve these problems? Russ Van out.